And we thank God for each and every one of you all, man. Thank you for locking it in to Morning Inspiration. Excuse me. Thank you for locking it into Morning Inspiration. We're back. And of course, once again, my special guest, the man of God himself, C. Rob, 100 Black Men of St. Mary Parish. For those chips that do me good, no justice, bro.
Where's that?
How you feeling, man? Huh?
That stuff that you drinking. Where's it at?
Now I'm drinking water right now, man. I just had the avocado chips, man. So, C-Rob, this voting, man. This voting, bro.
Man.
We got to get them, man.
Oh, we got to go with everything we got. You know, it's just so much, you know, that I think that we've seen because of the information that is out there on the video media platforms. But most important is hand-to-hand combat, man. You know, like we're doing right now. Starting at ground level, which is taking place here at KBZE today. Just an opportunity to get voter registration. You have your network that you hook up with, that listen to your listening audience. Hey, you need to go online and check and see if you are actually registered to vote. Another thing is, guys, you see what we talk about in regards to if you move.
Right.
If you move in regards to trying to go eventually vote, if you go into the voter registration poll and you don't have your name on the book somewhere, you may not get that opportunity to vote.
Right.
So that's some things that we don't even think about because we always thought we would register to vote. But if you moved recently,
Right.
you need to go readdress that issue.
And how do they do that, man? Do they go to the local?
I would go to the voter registration. Go there personally.
Okay.
You know, we stay in a small community. It's not like we're in a city. Go to the voter registration office and check your records. Check your information. If you haven't, you know, then you won't get to the opportunity. Now, when you go to the polls, then they're gonna have an issue going on. Another thing is check your ID. Okay. Sometimes if you move and it doesn't match up, because when you go sign in, if you don't go to the polls and vote, you're gonna have your name, your address. They're gonna try to match it up with your identification. Correct. So if it doesn't match up, that's gonna send a question to the workers that work in the polls. So that things need to be addressed now if you think you are registered to vote already. So I think that the workers' communication that's going forward, double check all that information right now because the bottom line is sometimes the state legislation has changed in various states, but here locally, since we're talking here, we need to actually be concerned about that. Even worldwide, like you're on the World Wide Web, nationwide, you need to go double check that information because some things we just don't think we take for granted. Various things has various issues that's going forward. So I think that one thing that I really wanted to stress today.
And you know what? I was like I said earlier, man. I talked to you about the Go Vote. How, you know, if let's just say for instance you pull up your name on there and it shows, you know, you got to put in your name, and then when you pull it up, the information comes and it says, okay, you're active, and then you go to vote and they tell you you're not. So how do we fix that discrepancy there?
That's the thing about it is because if you don't know exactly where to go to follow up on that information, you're just gonna say, well, I'm gonna give it. Sacrifice at least an hour to follow up on that information. They have some telephone numbers that you can actually call to actually verify that. But I don't think they will do too much information over the phone. The voter registration offices are not that busy now, so you can actually go forward and get that information. And the young ladies will actually, you know, help you rather than just pushing it to the side. Because sometimes in the technological age, you can have some little glitches in the system that needs to be addressed. So I think that's really important if you do follow through like that. Just go through. Man, if you need a ride for somebody to take you, that's the little things where we need the transportation, where we need the actual communication, where we need the door-to-door items like that. Due to COVID, it really shifted a lot of things, and that's why the online platform is very beneficial. But personally speaking, today is one of those days where
And let's talk about that, man. Hey, listen, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I'm live over the air, on the radio, on Facebook Live, with the president of the 100 Black Men of St. Mary Parish, Clarence Robinson and we're talking about voting today. Now they got a big event going on outside the studios. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, DJ Fab, I just love his demeanor and being aggressive about it.
Yeah. Dressed like a Coke bottle, but stay woke. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good.
Wake up. Wake up. But the most important thing is you guys have an awesome platform that really gets across to everybody. I'm glad to be included in this process. I told Mr. Howard recently that, you know, the 100 black men from here locally in the state of Louisiana, all our chapters are pushing this endeavor. Across the United States, we are pushing the endeavor. And many platforms in the Atlanta area, that's ground zero for most of the African Americans that are being ostracized and supposedly in the process. They're really putting a lot of dollars into this effort because basically it's something that is people fought for, but we have issues to fight in. So that opportunity that we can't let it pass us by.
Zero, I got a question for you, man. How do we motivate our young brothers? You know, we talked about it in the last segment.
Right.
In this segment again, how do we motivate our young brothers, our young sisters? Because they got this attitude that, you know what, my vote doesn't count, I don't need to vote, and those things. So what we do to motivate them?
Man, your vote really is always going to count because I don't know if you realize this, and DJ Fab and you guys, you can research this. Yeah, brothers voting in jail. You can still vote in jail.
You can vote in jail.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Come on.
It's a process that it is because
Right.
some people are not convicted felons. Okay,
Wow. So wait. So you telling me?
No.
So you telling me if they're not a convicted felon, all right, they can actually vote in jail?
Yes. Wow. It's a process that we have to be educated on. It's a much deeper conversation.
Got you.
But
Yeah.
basically, yes. So your vote is important. And the main thing is, and what we need to do is, unless you actually really talking about the police issues and things of that nature. Okay, that whole process is bigger than we can talk about.
Yes.
But the bottom line is, okay, so if you got the chief of police, which is appointed by the mayors, and you just selected anybody for leadership, then it starts right there. So you mean your vote don't count in an appointment of the leadership of the administration of that city or that municipality? You're wrong. You don't actually know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's good. That's interesting. They voted in space, huh?
That's what we're talking about.
Yes.
So if they vote in space,
Right.
come on, man, what are we doing in Earth?
Right.
We want to talk about the young brothers and sisters. We have to wake up and kind of have a shift of our dynamics. We're seeing a big shift with the athletes and what they're actually doing, and I think they're about to start doing a big voter push.
Right.
But the listening audience that DJ Fab has, these artists have to be at the forefront and telling them, look, we have to vote.
Right.
We got you. In the 60s, they had this, you know, when the athletes came about. So history is repeating itself, you know.
Right. Exactly.
It's just various seasons that's going forward. It's just taken to another level. But I always tell you guys this, you guys listening on us, the followers that you guys have, y'all have to keep pushing the narrative.
Right.
In the church arena, Morning Inspirations, DJ Fab Show, the young brother that come on, they have to keep pushing that narrative and actually know exactly what's going on. I can personally say that my son is so much more aware now than he was when he was 18.
Right.
Because now he's out there and he see like, man, this thing is for real. Because when you don't have the responsibility of taking care of the house, the family, the kids, and eating and things of that nature,
Right.
you push it back. But these young brothers need to know, even at the barber shop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Go in the barber shop and listen to the older brothers and listen what they have to say. Now we the old cats now in the community, so we the ones that have to tell them if we just have a moment.
Right.
Just have a moment.
Exactly right, man.
And if we can get there, and I think they do have some voter registration information at Skinner's Barbershop if we passing through. Every barbershop should have.
Everyone.
Every church should have.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Everywhere that we actually doing business at, we need to do it.
Yes.
We really need to do it.
That's real interesting, C-Rob, because, you know, I am an elected official, okay? And, you know, my son, my youngest son, he and his friend, said, man, listen, the year that I ran, I said, man, y'all got to get out and vote. Y'all got to vote. Y'all got to make sure y'all vote. How we do this? And so, you know, I went ahead and told them about it, right? Man, I won the election by 9 votes.
9 votes.
Suppose, you know what I'm saying? They did. Y'all understand what I'm saying?
Without
They
a
did
doubt.
without that. So that's how important it is.
Really
That
is.
vote makes a big difference, man. And what about, you know, what if they had 9 votes, and then, you know, those 2 plus, you know, 7 more
Right.
people. You know what I'm saying? I
You
could
got
have,
it.
you know, right there, bam.
Right now, the people that you're leading in you guys' community, you have a different platform now that you can see things from a different perspective. Because the bottom line is, if we don't have nobody at the table to understand what's going on, because the main thing about this thing is, we can't, after November 3rd,
Right.
we can't stop. You know, so this, what we've been seeing the last 4 years, really have to push us forward. We got caught slipping, man.
That's it, man. That's it.
But what I want to realize to you guys is this is the point across is just still remembering, like you said, we just go and vote, but don't sleep various amendments or anything that going forward on these general elections like this. Because the bottom line is, there's a lot of things that's in our tax basis. Everybody's not on public assistance. Got a lot of people paying taxes around here. Look at those amendments.
Yes,
Okay,
most definitely.
we need to continue to look at those amendments in regards to what's going on in each municipality, even in Patterson.
Yes.
You may have some villages that's going forward for the libraries and things of that nature. We always flip all that stuff and just push it to the side.
Right.
And then when we see our taxes going up, like, what's going on?
Right.
Well, you sleep.
Yeah,
You
you
sleep at the wheel.
don't read it, and you know what I'm saying. Don't read it, but that's important. And like I said, we talked about Go Vote earlier. You know, GEAUXVote.com. They can go there and they can get all the information, that they need. And also, C-Rock, the absentee vote.
Man, it's critical.
Yeah,
It's critical.
I do have a number for that too.
Yeah.
Go, you know.
But the thing about it is, don't be intimidated about that.
Right.
I think that, you know, Mr. Howard or somebody here, we need to have some setup where people may want to if they are having an absentee vote,
Right.
you know, reach out to somebody. Because basically, when you absentee vote, you still have to show that somebody has actually showed the documentation. And once again, do not tear the affidavit off the form.
Gotcha.
When you put your submitted form in your ballot in the box, and when you seal it off, make sure it's dated, signed properly, make sure it's sealed. Do not tear it off, because if not, you go this null and void.
Right. Well, that's good information. That's good information. And you had on hand helping your mom,
Yeah.
84, you said, right?
Yes, right.
And
Yes,
fill
sir.
that, and so now that vote will make a difference. You know what I'm saying?
Got to.
And just think about everybody get that education. And you mentioned something in our last segment that was very important. You talked about someone actually going live and showing someone how to
I
do
think
that.
that's
an
critical.
awesome
I think
idea.
that's critical,
Yes.
because the bottom line is that shows you're showing somebody, and also it's showing integrity.
Right,
Okay,
right.
that
That's
somebody that may be a senior that has a family member, and then when we share this information,
Right.
then it doesn't become a host,
Right.
like people are saying that it's fraud. No, if you still have to put, Pastor C, they're gonna send you all the information, but you still have to put the stamp on the envelope.
Yeah.
They're not giving you that for free.
That's it, man. That's it. Well, C-Rob, man, listen, I thank you, as my colleague would say, thank you for chopping it up with
Yeah,
me.
man, I love it,
don't
man. I
say it
appreciate you.
quite well as he does,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
You got a whole different mix
yeah,
of people
you
coming
know,
in
I
this
don't have a
afternoon,
team
man.
lead Pastor C shirt, but, you know, but I want to give that number, man, for absentee, which is 1-800-883-2805. That's 1-800-883-2805. And we're talking to C-Rob, Clarence Robinson, president of the 100 Black Men of St. Mary Parish. We're here live on Facebook, live in the studios, and you're going to be out there, man.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
hey, come on. One more word to tell them, man, to get them out there. to
Hey
vote.
man, come on and pull up. I think DJ Fab been about to turn the whole up. Maybe young folk got to get out of here.
Yeah.
So no, we about to have some people coming out here. Get out, get registered to vote. Man, if you're not sure, Pastor C gave some information where you can look up and see if you are registered. Number, get your license identification. Make sure you have your identification for November 3rd.
Right.
Okay. Check your address. Make sure your dress line up where you are, and make sure you know where you go vote at what
What
poll
precinct, yeah,
or what
right,
precinct
right.
that you're voting. Because
That's it.
once again, these little things we can let slip, but I promise you, it's gonna make a difference, and then we make our vote count.
Amen. Well, that's a blessing, C. Rob. Thanks for stopping by. Chat with me
Appreciate you,
anytime,
brother.
man. Much love to you. All right, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, my brother. Hey, we're here at the studios live at 53, that's 1320 Victor 2 Boulevard. We're going to be here until, what time you guys are from 11 until 4. They can stop by the day. So thank you, man. Appreciate that.
You, sir.
All right. Hey, y'all stand by. We're going to get Prophet Gilmore on the air. God bless. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it. I know we're both on. All right. Hey, it's about 18 minutes after the hour. Yours truly, Pastor C, on Morning Inspirations. And of course, hey, we got a special guest in the studios. Want to welcome the one and only, the president, all right, of the 100 Black Men, right? St. Mary Parish. What's going on, C. Rob?
It's a pleasure to be here, Pastor C, and always to be in your friendly confines, as they say.
Oh man, go ahead on with that noise, man. We talking voter registration, man. You know, that's the thing that's happening, bro. You got to let us know what's up, man.
Well,
What's up?
one thing it is, a voteless people is a hopeless people, Pastor C. And one thing we are doing, not just the 100 Black Men, the NAACP, all civic organizations, all churches, all nonprofit organizations, you know, we need to get registered to vote, man. There's so many different ways that we actually can do this. But one thing it is, we know with the political climate that we're currently in, we really need to make some things happen.
Yeah, so, you know, see, Rob, a lot of times, man, we have a lot of young brothers, as we talk, 100 Black Men, you know, they talk about, well, man, you know, I got a felon and all this other stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about that, bro. Let's talk about that.
That is all out the door now, because of the legislation that went forward has already been done. Most importantly is making sure that if you have been a convicted felon, making sure that you spoke to your probation officer, getting the proper documentations to be able to bring up there to actually go and actually vote. I would try to not do it. I would not try to do it online, but I would go to the voter registrations office and go through the process. So if somebody do have some information to share with you, you can immediately go get it.
Wow.
Rather than, you know, trying to do it on the phone or online, and then you may miss some opportunities because the time is really dwindling down.
And so have you guys gotten a lot of people to, you know, register to vote?
Yeah, basically through 100 Black Men, the national office out of Atlanta, Georgia, we got what we vote, whenweallvote.com. This particular political organization has gone across the country, and what it does is actually give you the various ways in doing it. Uniquely enough, just like out here in front of KBZE today, you'll be able to come up and drive up and get registered to vote. That process that we have is an online process that you can go to whenweallvote.com or .org, and you'll be able to see the process, what you need to do. But sometimes, you know, most people want to try to do it in person, which I always agree to people to do it in person, or go to the voter registration office in Morgan City or in Franklin and take care of that opportunity.
Hey, listen, man. You know, I got this question for you. In case you just joining me, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters in Christ, I'm talking to brother C-Rob, Clarence Robinson, president of the 100 Black Men of St. Mary Parish, and of course we're live on Facebook right now. And one of the things I want to ask you, sir, is that how do we get these young brothers motivated, man? You know what I'm saying? To vote. Because, you know, everybody, you know, you talk, man, my vote don't mean nothing, man. I ain't got time for that. They're going to do what they want to do anyway. So how can we motivate them?
Every vote count. You know, our ancestors went through so much to get this opportunity to go and actually vote. Pastor C, on Sunday on 60 Minutes, they had a brother that had been incarcerated for 27 years.
Right.
Didn't have an opportunity to vote. The great thing about this is, long story short of the process, while incarcerated, he got his bachelor's degree.
Yes.
He found out the law process, and long story short, this brother is an attorney.
Come on.
He is
Wow.
an attorney
Yeah.
in Florida. And what the thing about it is, in those 27 years, he still couldn't actually vote. They passed legislation to actually give him an opportunity to vote. The only reason why they didn't let him vote in Florida because he still had a pending probation report of $1,500.
Wow. Wow.
And an opportunity presented itself. He is actually voting this last session for something that he actually sacrificed for. But the thing about it is, when he was able to go out there, they had the last testimony on it, and he was crying, just because he had to actually pull that lever.
Wow.
And we don't take this we take this opportunity for granted. But what we need to realize is, even with our own local election, you an elected official, Pastor C. One vote could have made a difference in your election process.
That's it.
One vote.
That's it.
So it starts locally, and then it goes up to the state, then it goes to nationally, in which we did see in the actual program on last night, the debate. We need to get out and vote.
Yeah, we definitely need to do that.
Without
And,
a doubt.
When you talk about that, the young brother getting the chance to vote, I also heard that that Mike Tyson is going to vote.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? After all those things he's been through, man, and they got to check that, right?
Exactly
They
right.
got to keep up with that. Yeah.
Exactly. Let me speak about this voter, the mail-in vote also.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Apparently, my mom can't. She can't go to the polls like she should. So we did get the ballot, and the great thing about that is it's an easy process when you get the mail-in ballot. All the candidates, all the actual amendments that we may not need to overlook. They have some amendments on that ballot this year that we need to go in and vote in the poll and vote on also. So we maybe come back and talk about that at a later date. But the bottom line is, it's an easy process. I was able to speak with my mom, tell me who she wanted. She discussed the issue, circle in the hole, encircled the holes, moved that process on, signed it with her. They have an affidavit attached to it as a witness. My mom was able to sign and date it. I, as a witness, signed and dated. That affidavit must stay on the ballot to mail it in.
Wow.
Seal it off,
Right.
and keep that affidavit so your vote can count. Put it in the mail, and the vote process is done.
That's very important.
That's
Very important.
It's very important.
Share that process again if you don't
Yeah.
mind.
Fill out the form. It's easy. Even if you don't have anybody that can actually understand, know what's going on, ask somebody to read the amendments to you.
Gotcha.
How you feel about it.
Gotcha.
The voting for the president.
That was
is
sent
on
to
it.
her? That was sent
to my mom.
Okay, gotcha.
The president,
Mhm.
the mayor of Morgan City,
Gotcha.
the councils in those particular areas, if you're in that particular area.
Oh, wow, they break it down. like
Everything
that.
is
That's
broken
good.
down.
That's real good.
Everything is broken down. It's self-explanatory. It's legible where you can actually read it, seal it off, put it in the envelope. Do not pull off the affidavit, because it says that specifically, but it has to stay on it. And once you close it, it's sealed. You have your witnesses sign. My mom signed, I signed, dated, in the mail, vote is done.
Just like that.
Just like that. So what we're seeing in the political climate that is all out of control, no, it's not.
Right.
No, it's not.
It's not. Okay.
I think
Okay.
it's smoking windows.
So you have witnessed that. You have witnessed that firsthand to see what it's like.
Personally.
Yeah, that's good.
Personally,
That's
because
good.
my mom is 84 and my dad is 87, and we don't want them to bring them in an environment.
Right.
So try to get them dressed, cover with the mask and things of that nature. We sent the process in as, once again, Pastor C, it's a very, very easy process.
Well, that's real good, because I'm glad that you shared that with me, because I had someone, ask me about that as far as getting those. I had an older gentleman ask me about that, and so I'm glad you were mentioning that, how it goes, because I'm going to help them do theirs as
Easy.
well, and so it's real easy.
And you know what, I think that we should probably have somebody actually do it on YouTube or something like that, where they can actually show some people on Facebook Live,
Right.
and showing people, if we have somebody as a witness, to show people how to actually do this, so it won't be a facade, like it's some strange thing that has people intimidated
Right,
of what
right.
they're actually doing. But one thing I want to stress, so you keep talking about these young brothers that need to vote, and young sisters.
Right, exactly.
You got to get out there and sacrifice. On November 3rd, we have to get to the polls, because even if you don't know what's going on, we have a lot of information. We can disseminate a lot of information to show you exactly what you're voting for, depending on the location where you are. If it's in
Right.
Patterson, Morgan City, Franklin, Amelia, throughout the parish, that we need to do some things like this to educate the people, not just to vote, but what I'm voting for.
Right.
Because if you don't know what you're voting for, there's
Yeah.
a big difference.
There's a big difference. You gotta read,
Yes,
you gotta
sir.
actually read. And earlier, I was looking on Go Vote, that's Go Vote, and they got some really good information right there.
Really is.
And it's like, man, it's GEAUX vote.com. And you can actually put your name in there.
Yeah, let's see if you're registered.
and pull the information up on you, man. Hold on a minute, I don't want that commercial go right there. But anyway, we're back. Okay, cool. We got about 3 minutes to chop it up before the next broadcast. But listen, man, C-Rock, we got a lot of audience. We got Facebook audience.
Right.
Man, you're gonna be here with them outside later on?
Right.
And then till what time?
We'll be in and out throughout
You're
the
gonna
day.
be in, okay, cool.
Yes, sir.
That's
We're gonna be
good.
in throughout the day.
That's good. All right, I appreciate that. And so you're gonna come back with me as well as at about 45 after I'll bring you back on the air,
Right.
and we can chop it up again. But man,
Let me say one more
go
thing
ahead,
too.
go
I
ahead.
got to represent the fraternities and sororities.
Oh man, go
The
ahead.
Divine Nine.
Go ahead, man.
We
Go
got
ahead.
to go there
Go ahead.
because we're making a big push in regards to the fraternities and sororities across the United States.
Mhm.
Most prestigious fraternities, Alpha Phi Fraternity Incorporated,
Mm-hmm.
but challenge the Kappas, the Qs, the Omegas,
Right.
making sure they're getting out there, the Deltas, the Zetas, all those organizations, the AKAs
Mhm.
in the area. If you can make a phone call to somebody,
Right.
or somebody that you connected to, the high school seniors that we know that probably may jump on your bus pass, you see,
Mhm.
and you need to go vote. And I know you got to kind of keep it, separated.
Right.
But those are the young people that make sure it's important. When I pledged my fraternity, one of the most important things they said was, we registered to vote. That's the first thing, and I didn't realize it because coming out of high
Right.
school,
Oh,
how
yeah,
important
most
it
definitely,
was.
most definitely.
So we put it in that particular point, and that got me started from that particular point on.
Yes, sir.
And making sure that, everybody know, and not just to pull a lever, why we are voting, because a lot of legislation, a lot of things that, like at your council meetings, a lot of people don't know exactly, okay, what's going on. You have that decision. And Pastor C said, look, I'm being elected to work for you
Right.
and disseminate that information.
Yeah,
So,
that's awesome. That's powerful, man.
Yeah.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters in Christ, talking to the man of God. That's right, bruh, C. Rob, president of the 100 Black Men of St. Mary Parish. Hey, man, got to come back with him in about 15 more minutes, man. I got a ministry broadcast coming up, and we're going to continue on, man. This is very, very important, all right?
yes, sir.
Appreciate you, man.
it,
We'll
brother.
see you in about 15. All right. Appreciate y'all on Facebook. Thank y'all for locking it in. Also, right here on the Breeze 105.9 FM. I'm yours truly, Pastor C. Up next, up next, we're going to hear from, let's see here. Wow. Evangelist Billy Rowe have a filling on today. Evangelist Gas will be filling in for Evangelist Rowe. All right. That is coming up shortly. Stay tuned. I'm yours truly, Pastor C. God bless. All right. That's going to do it. And, all right, I need to see where I got to finish this. Yeah, appreciate you, C-Rock.
Oh, man, I love it, brother. We built for it.
Yes, sir.
Get off. Solo right there, man. Hey, man, when I tell you, it's a beautiful sight, man. A beautiful sight to have my peoples, how they say, coming together, man. Unity in the community, man. And we done spoke with Ms. Alfreda Edwards earlier. We done spoke with Community Action. We done spoke with Tesh Action. And now we have the 100 Black Men, my man, Mr. Clarence Robinson in the building, man, also. Good evening, sir. How are you doing?
How you doing, sir? You got me following Mr. Willis, Miss Alfreda Edwards, these giants of St. Mary Parish, man.
They pioneers, huh?
Yeah, man.
I'm pulling big dogs out today.
I started getting nervous when I was coming up, man. They said that Mr. Willis was here. And
You know what I'm saying?
Alfreda.
Because you know,
man.
the people ain't coming out for no, you know what I'm saying?
No, they don't just come out like that. They be at the table,
I got
that
the big
big table
dogs
that
out
we
here,
haven't
man.
got there yet.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to get at that table.
I went through my homework before I came back. That's why. I want Mr. Leroy the fact.
I thought you was going to lunch. You done
Yeah.
This man done dug up on the computer. Like, man, I'm skipping lunch, fam. Hey, man, but what's happening with you, man? Also, man, talk to us about the 100 Black Men. How you guys are definitely fired up and bringing some awareness as well, man.
Exactly. We the 100 Black Men is doing We All Vote campaign. They got various vote campaigns that go on across the country, but they all for one focus, voting in November. Most importantly, our national chapter out of Atlanta and also our local chapter and the state chapters in Louisiana are really pushing people to get registered to vote. So we all on the same page. It's one for one demographic. It's just to get our people out to vote.
Definitely, man. Now, how important it is for our people to, just to vote, not just this election, but just in the future, man.
Yeah, I told a brother earlier this morning that in my fraternity, one of the first things they taught us about is getting registered to vote. And our slogan was, a voteless people is a hopeless people.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we don't take advantage of it, but right now, it's a sense of urgency. But what happened was, Fab, you know, a lot of people got kind of lax when Barack was in for 8 years.
Yeah.
And then on that midnight hour when we was shot the next day,
Yeah.
we realized that we wasn't at the polls.
Yeah.
The numbers showed itself.
Yeah, and I mean, you're right. We dropped the ball.
Right.
We dropped the ball, you know what I'm saying? And then we really thought we had it, and then we got educated on how important the electoral is and all that. You know, we didn't know nothing about that.
The educational process of you know, we be in school, we have civics class and things like that. We kind of ignore it, but all that's in the process.
Oh, that's in the process, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, how he won, and she got the most numbers, and it's like, she ain't got the electoral, and it's like,
That's the
what?
college, electoral college.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's crazy how, like, we was so lost on that. And then this man just slipped on in,
Yeah.
you know, and we dropped the ball again.
We dropped it, and you know, one thing it is, BET been playing School Days again.
Okay.
And at the end of it, it says all the people come out the rooms on the college campus and everything, and he said at the end, wake up,
Uh-huh.
wake up.
That's what it's about, too, man.
Let's wake up.
Hey, that's what's up. Now, you brought me some information, man. a pamphlet. This man brought me a pamphlet of, but explain to me what this is and, you know, and I can let my people know.
All we trying to do is inform people, because you're saying, okay, I'm going to vote. What I'm voting for, who I'm voting for. This is the information that's out there, you know, and knowing exactly. If you're in St. Mary Parish, we got information here. If you know exactly what you need to do, you can go out to the front, go check the areas where you at. In every specific district that you may be in, certain candidates will be in there that you have to vote for, plus amendments.
Okay, yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of times we sitting here worrying about the president race, but those amendments would really hurt locally.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Locally,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? Because we might have something passed that we don't pay attention to.
Right.
And then when it comes time to, you know, it's like, when did this happen?
Yeah, exactly. You know, the most important thing, Mr. Willis could attest to this, is that, you know, with the school board and different millages that they have for the school board, that's a tax base for the school system to keep it running. So you actually saying, okay, why we don't have this in the school system? Well, you may have not approved the tax base itself, but you say, well, I'm not a homeowner. You buy stuff in St. Mary Parish. So you feed the system, so you don't know exactly what's going on. So it's a lot of other things that we need to talk about that needs to be brought to the table. The general election is important, but it starts right at home first.
Yeah, and that's what I told him, man. A lot of times those amendments, you know, it's locally, and it can hurt us,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, if we don't pay attention.
And you know what the thing about it is, because we don't take time to educate ourselves, and that's what I was led to do, just to bring this information here, have it here at the radio station. And you said this before we went on the air. Okay, what district do I live in so I can know exactly certain candidates are in that district? I may not be voting for him.
I hear this all the time in the streets.
Yeah,
I hear this, you know, folks be like confused about what poll or what district or this and that or where to go. And I'm like,
Can I tell you something?
go ahead.
You lived in New Orleans, correct?
I haven't lived, but I mean, you know,
You dwell in New Orleans?
a lot.
How they be saying, 5th Ward, 7th Ward?
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Okay.
So if you know exactly what ward you live in and find out, then you represent your ward.
I see where you're going with this.
The rappers understand it because it's demographics in those particular areas. And they can tell you what poll to actually go through. But see, we look at it from a different perspective. We'll say, I'm from
Cleansville. I'm
Well,
from
Cleansville, for sure.
St. Joseph.
Right, but there's actual ward numbers that actually line up with that to actually know what precinct you go to.
So you just have to educate yourself and find out what ward you're from.
You got to know what. And you know your voter registration card, that information is on.
Okay, all right. I learned something also today, Pastor C, before he stepped out. He went to GoVote.com. You know, we was putting our names in the system, and it lets you know whether you're active or,
That's important.
you know, and that's something simple. I mean, it only took like 2 seconds. He put my name in, put my little zip code or whatever, and it showed, okay, active. I said, all right, I'm good then.
You good, but we was talking about reaching the young folk.
Yeah.
Everything is in hand.
And
So what's your excuse?
I mean, if we could get on TikTok and do all this
It take
stupid stuff,
time, 5-10 minutes to get this thing done, man.
Come
You
on,
need to get
man.
it done.
and we got to get it done, man. I mean, like I said, folks, and you made a good point. Young folks, you have the power right in your hand. That
In your
cell
hand,
phone is
exactly.
very powerful. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Those apps we download now, we can't, like TikTok and all that stuff, that ain't getting us nowhere.
At all.
That ain't getting us
I'll tell
nowhere.
you what, do a TikTok video with yourself doing the go vote.
I like that. I like that.
I'm just going where they going. That's what
But
y'all
get what?
want. I don't do it.
I ain't got no account.
I don't have that either. You locked out, huh?
I ain't got.
Because the
It's
system was locked us out.
just never interesting. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love to laugh at the
Right,
little videos,
right,
but it's
right.
like I ain't got no account.
Exactly.
It's like I ain't getting on that stuff.
That's right. But I understand what you're saying, but okay, we got to think like they think.
Yeah.
Okay, so these people, these intelligent people that are in Washington, D.C., and across various states that's working for these elected officials,
Uh-huh.
they got young folks and they got millennials on there, and they going right, and they pulling the demographics. They seeing how you tracking on this thing.
Uh-huh.
So if you notice, I tell sometime on Facebook they said about registering to vote and stuff.
All that's popping up now.
It's popping up.
You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah,
like,
but they paying for that.
yeah.
Yeah, so they got billions of dollars.
That is crazy, man. That is crazy. Folks, we got to educate ourselves, man. We got to educate ourselves. Hey, sitting there with me right now, if you just tuning in, Mr. Clarence Robinson with the 100 Black Men, and we're talking about census, voting, all that different stuff, man. Just trying to educate our peoples out there. But like we said, folks, definitely pay attention and definitely start, if you haven't participated in, let's say, the last few elections, you might be out the system.
Yeah.
You might be out the system. You feel like, well, I'm a registered voter, but you ain't participated in a few elections. So you probably got kicked out of the system.
That's correct. And like you said, if you moved,
And that's another
you
thing.
need to be concerned about if you transferred, because if you're going in a voter registration poll and you're looking at the actual name and that address and there's nothing lined up, that's the poll people that will be watching all this stuff that we need to actually know about and pass on this. You got the time now to get it corrected so your vote can count on November 3rd.
Yeah.
So, you know, and have a driver's license.
Yeah.
Authentication.
I'm glad you said that, because I was telling Ms. Alfreda earlier, we always talking about justice. But if you don't have your license straight, if you're not a registered voter, how can you participate on a jury? You get what I'm saying? Because that system is kicked out automatically because you a voter on your driver's license. So if you don't have none of these items, then you can't participate to give no type of justice.
We can't even have the conversation.
You see what I'm saying?
It just doesn't. It doesn't.
I didn't even know that.
Man,
But
it's
I
so
got taught that. They was like, Fab, look, let me tell you something. Let me tell you how they choose jurors. Voters and driver's license. It's a computer that kicks your names out automatically. But if you ain't got your stuff together, you're not in the system, then how can you be a juror and how can you give some type of justice?
It
And it made sense.
It makes a whole bunch
I was
of
like,
sense.
wow.
Look, but when we see the officers coming with that subpoena and we running and
You know what I'm saying?
But you want to participate in the process of actually sitting there and learning the system of what's going on to educate yourself. I told a brother earlier today that they had a brother in Florida that had been incarcerated 27 years.
Uh-huh.
Okay? Incarcerated, wrongfully incarcerated, but he did 27 years. Through the process, he got his degree. It was on 60 Minutes
Uh-huh.
Sunday. Got his degree and still couldn't vote
Why?
because he was a convicted felon.
Okay.
Okay, that kind of cleared up, but they had some jurisdictions in Florida that were totally different.
Okay.
Another thing is he owed a fine. So that fine had to be paid for because
Before he-
a whole big old process.
Wow.
The brother finally had an opportunity to vote this past spring.
Wow, that is big,
crazy,
man.
man.
That is big. I just found out Mike Tyson just got
Yes.
reinstated. Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I mean, millionaire.
You know, and
You don't have to
who
vote.
would thought?
A lot more than that.
And it's crazy. I was like, wow, like Mike Tyson just not voting. You know, but I mean, I applaud him and I salute him for even putting that pride to the side and saying, I want to get involved now.
Well, that's the most important thing is putting the pride on the side. What I see now is the NBA, the NFL,
They
all
stepping
these
up.
guys, they're gonna finally step up. And the first thing they realize is saying, you need to get out and vote.
Yeah.
Get voter registration. Having these areas where the voter polls were, particularly in Atlanta, for example, that was so small, they're going to the arena. We're gonna buy that out.
We're going to accommodate him.
Take care of that.
That's big, man.
Tell you what, the social distancing, we're gonna pull them out because now brothers be waiting for 3 to 4 hours to vote, so they want you to get tired. They want to wear you out.
Hey, I'm glad you brought that up, man. I'm glad you brought that up. What about the brother that's doing his part and coming up here, Fab, can I get our reinstated? We give him the paperwork, right? And we tell him to go on down to the courthouse, right? And then when they get to the courthouse, they give him the runaround. Talk to that brother.
Well, it's going to be a runaround, but the first thing you need to do is speak to your probation officer.
Okay. Because we have a lot of that going on right now.
Oh, it's going to happen.
You know what I'm saying? I just sent brothers down there to the courthouse, and guess what? I done got phone calls, man, Fab, the people ringing around, and I don't want them to get discouraged.
But then they have to speak to their probation officer because he's going to have the timeline of actually if he's completed the process because they sign off on those documents. So that's the first step. The second step is having the ID in actual physical location where you dwell at, so it can all start making sense. So their process is they following the rules.
Okay.
Okay. But if you don't know the rules, how you not play the game? But how you gonna get involved to get your vote counted?
Yeah. I see where you're going with
You
it.
got to file it on paper, Fab. That's why I bought paper.
That's
and I
what's
bought
up.
some information as it relates to who they need to call, where they need to go to get this information taken care of.
This man got Terrebonne Parish,
We in District 51, man.
St. Tammany Parish, man, but this man got some home, but
You got to talk
I'm going
to
home
these
to do my
people.
homework.
And all we want to do is happy because you guys' voices are getting out there, Fab. Y'all gonna continually be before the people between now and November. These are people they need to call and contact with any questions and concerns because sometimes it get kind of cumbersome to try to do stuff on the internet and read and all that.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody getting paid, the taxpayers are paying for that person
To sit there and do that. That's what's up, man. Well, I definitely appreciate the information. So all my folks that been calling me up and saying that they went to the courthouse and couldn't get the right information or couldn't, you know what I'm saying, get reinstated. I just got some more information I can pass on to you guys. That way you can definitely get straight and take care of that, man. But Mr. Clarence, I thank you so much for that information. Thank you so much for joining the calls today, man.
It's been a joy today, you know, just
Beautiful weather,
man.
beautiful vibe,
Just to get out.
beautiful people.
My people.
That's what's up. Now, the 100 Black Men, man, when did you guys do like enrollment, stuff like that? I want to pace that out there too, because
We
I
out
mean,
here right now. As a matter of fact, we are actually in membership drive mode going into 2021.
Okay.
We have pretty much our agenda.
what's the procedures to be a 100 Black Men?
You have to be at least 25 years of age.
Okay,
Actual with ID.
okay,
Be able to pass the police screening because we're mentoring kids.
Okay.
So you have to have that information for it. Once we get that, we give you an application, and then we go forward and see what we can do. Our main endeavor now, most importantly, the social distancing this year kind of really threw us off.
Everybody, yeah.
Yeah, it threw us off, but the virtual platform is what we're spinning back into so we can still connect with these young men. But personally, we need to have one-on-one. We need to have group mentoring. And mentoring is across a lifetime. So
Yeah.
we don't lose anybody. The great thing about it is we just put out a video for getting out the vote.
okay.
And one of our mentees, Mr. Ray Dewey Jr., who currently lives in Atlanta,
I heard that.
Ray did the video for us because he was a mentee at the 100 Black Men, and he was never disconnected. He thought he had moved to Washington, D.C.,
Okay.
and the video was going to take place in front of the White House. But he moved to Atlanta, and then he was able to go in front of King, so it was all
Like, wow, man, that's big,
so
man.
that's what it's about. We just want to take our kids back. You know, we're not about all that status and what your name is. All we want is brothers that's willing to help our babies and educate them on health and wellness, education, which is scholarship, mentoring, and economic empowerment. So those are the things that we going to go forward with. In February of 2021, we're going to have a business symposium
Okay.
for brothers concerning about their taxes and things like that.
Okay.
Small business owners, where they can actually know. Because see that PPP funds went out, and
A lot of our people, they
forget
know.
because the reason why is your tax information wasn't properly set up.
Wow, we got to educate ourselves,
Educate
man.
ourselves, big brother.
That's what's up, man. Hey, well, Mr. Clarence, thank you so much, man,
Thank you for the opportunity, brother.
for coming on out here. And definitely showing some love, man, and representing.
homework to do.
Yeah, I'm going to. Man, this man bought me a whole family, man. You know. Hey, but I thank you, man. I thank you, man. But that way, when my people's call up here, I'll be able to educate them because I'm educating myself. You know what I'm saying?
Fab, you gonna be. I think you probably gonna have somebody in the city. You gonna probably go to the movie.
Boy, you can't tell me nothing about boy. You see what I'm saying? I told Howard, look at some leather. Hey, that's what's up, man. Thank you so much, man. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. Mr. Clarence Robinson, man, right there with the 100 Black Men, y'all. Hey, that's what it's all about, y'all. We are still here till 4 o'clock today. We still got some peace out there.
Yeah.
We still got peace.
Plus, you got a first time.
Hold on.
You got a first time voter registered. You just turned 18.
Wow.
Come sit down on the mic, Mr. Willis. We got. Come on. We got a first time register.
Yeah.
Just turned 18.
Well, she
Wow, that is big, man.
Mama brought.
Happy birthday, and you are doing it. If we could get more parents like that, man, you know what I'm saying? When them kids turn 18, that should be the first thing, you know what I'm saying? Instead of them worrying about a car or worrying about this and that and worrying about the Jordans and all that, hey, make sure that they register before they get rewarded, man. So y'all keep it locked, man. Thank y'all so much, man. Hey, doing a great job out there, you guys, man. 100 Black Men, Test Action Clinic, Miss Alfreda Edwards. Unity in the community, man. Y'all keep it locked out there.